It worked. Hello, and welcome back to Syberia 2. This is our second episode, and I'm doing some shenanigans not with the game but with OBS. Unfortunately, it is not related to the quality of recording any cinematics, and that is somewhat sad news. Cinematics will probably continue to be choppy, but at least I don't have any worries running my recording now, like launching my recording, because I have discovered advanced scene switcher. And all that I'm using it for is just to delay when my recording starts. So I smack the button and in 10 seconds recording starts, which is enough for the game to launch itself, for me to prepare myself, and off we pop. I don't need to minimize or maximize the window. It's a little bit easier this way. Now, in the previous episode, we have arrived here in Romansburg, and soon after the train was ready to depart, Hans here decided to visit his old friend, as he briefly said, to circus, and apparently that that visit caused Hans' illness to aggravate significantly, and Hans is terribly ill. It's very unfortunate. There are no doctors out there, too far. There might be only some monks. Monks being monks, they are not very welcome of people. They are not helping that
Colonel?
easy people.
Our route is still long and my friend is suffering. I don't know what to do.
Syberia is hellish cold at this time of year, Miss Walker. And journeys take an age. Your friend isn't in the prime of youth anymore.
Thanks for all your help, Colonel.
The pleasure.
So, in order for the monks to help Hans, we need to convince them that he's really ill. For that, we are applying a special shroud on his face, right? And yeah, that shroud is supposed to tell you how ill the person is. I am concerned that I do not hear any music. I should hear music, should I not? Just for the sake of experiments. And music. No music. Okay. I guess game shenanigans. What are you doing to me? Running Syberia 1 was somehow easier. That is unexpected. And yes, we have this guy now here.
Excuse me. I'm sorry to disturb you, sir?
Blessed art thou, my sister. What can I do for you?
My name is Kate Walker, and my train is currently at the station in Romansburg.
Oh, Romansburg. Pretty town, but not the kind of town for pretty strangers. Pretty solitary strangers.
I don't intend to hang around long, brother. I'm traveling with an old man, Hans Vorarlberg, and...
Vorarlberg. Did you say Vorarlberg, my sister?
You know him?
No, but I know someone else. Can you hear? It is the sweet song of the Merula alba. If only I could catch a glimpse, such a rare, pretty bird. Few are they who say in truth they have spied her beauty. It is probably seeking some other Merula alba.
Okay.
My friend is very ill, you know.
It is God's will. God's will. What can I do, my sister? What can I do?
Maybe you could visit him at his bedside.
Oh, never, my sister, never. I would incur the wrath of our Lord and Patriarch.
I'm looking for someone with a medical background, someone who can tend to the sick.
Our Patriarch is a remarkable doctor, my sister. He cures bodies as well as souls.
You couldn't help me, could you, please?
I am but a simple monk. You have to go see our Patriarch yonder in the monastery.
You say that I could find someone to help me, up there at the monastery.
Yes, at the monastery, oh yes.
I rang at the monastery, but there was no reply. Maybe they don't want to let me in. Can you tell me, is there another way in?
There is no other way, my sister.
Why won't they let me into the monastery?
Dura lex, sed lex.
I'm sorry?
The law is hard, but it is the law, my sister.
What law?
I don't like questions, my sister. The law is the law is the law.
I must absolutely find a doctor for my friend.
I just do the laundry, my sister, that is all. Down here, there are some doctors, and others do the laundry. You are going to make me late.
You're not in a hurry, you're listening to a bird, man.
Do you hear? It is the Merula alba again.
Why won't you help me?
I must finish my chores before evensong, my sister.
You live in the monastery, I suppose.
That is right, my sister.
Are there many of you up there?
A few old monks. Few are those who heed the calling in this age.
Tell me, what have we got to do to get into the monastery?
You must pull the rope that rings the bell, my sister, but not too hard, or you will scare the birds. Don't scare them. A monk will show you in.
Thank you. I rang the bell, but the monk at the door doesn't seem to want to show me in.
There are rules. Rules and traditions to respect here. Respect.
What rules? What traditions?
That some people are less worthy than others.
Okay, so how does that monk up there make an opinion about my worthiness by just looking at me?
It is not a question to ask, my sister.
And why not?
You're telling me that I'm not worthy to enter your monastery?
I didn't say. No, I just wash dirty laundry, that's all.
Yes, you did say that. You implied I wasn't worthy.
Femina inconcessus.
I don't understand Latin.
You studied
Latin,
law.
like the birds. Erythacus rubecula, picus viridis, merula alba.
You speak Latin, then?
Oh, monk's Latin. Pigeon Latin.
You seem to know the Latin names of birds.
Pretty birds. Pretty birds.
Picus viridis?
Woodpecker.
How about Erythacus rubecula?
Robin redbreast.
And Merula alba?
White raven, my sister.
Femina inconcessus?
Women. Forbidden. No.
Right. I get it. Because I'm a woman, I'm forbidden access to the monastery. Now I understand.
That's the rule, sister. I can't change the rules.
Of course, brother. Women are the source of all sin. Isn't that so? What is a marula alba?
White raven.
A rare bird.
He told you.
It can never be seen, as it is as white as snow. They say that when a man sees it, his mind clears, and his intelligence grows and grows.
So you lack intelligence.
There seem to be a lot of birds around here.
Yes, yes, but the only one that interests me is the Merula alba.
I'm going now. I'll be back soon.
What?
What an irritating guy. Not gonna lie. Maybe I need to do some sound shenanigans? That's very interesting. I'm not gonna restart the game only because of the music, so we'll leave it as is.
It's been barricaded. These folks don't like people just dropping in uninvited.
Apparently for a very good reason, right? Because these people steal their gas. I wonder if Malka can help me out.
Tell me.
How is it?
She cannot. So I will use the paranormal ability of my brain to remember my childhood walkthroughs. And I will go directly to the kernel.
Colonel?
Ah, Miss Walker.
Colonel, you don't have one of those whistles for making bird noises among your many treasures here, do you?
A bird call. Why, I sell them by the truckload during the hunting season. I've got a whole collection of them. I think I've got just what you need somewhere. Aha!
Gold,
Thanks for all your
silver,
help, Colonel.
and the black
The
one.
pleasure is all mine, Miss Walker.
What is a white raven? Right? I would assume that the distinctive feature is that it's white, so we should start with maybe silver? Silver bird call? Music is back. Okay. Mystery solved. All by itself. How can a lawyer not know Latin? How does it work?
Can you hear? Can You hear? The Merula Alba. It is calling to me. Calling to me.
Sure. Monk's habit. Stealing from a monk. Oh my god. This is my life now. That looks like a Vorarlberg elevator.
Good evening, sir.
Well, this thing will come in later. For some reason I was expecting a welcoming party. Okay, they're not very talkative to me. That is fine.
Nothing I can do. This is really amazing work all the same. Whiling away those celibate hours. Hello? Anybody there? Excuse me.
What? A woman? Women are expressly prohibited. What the devil are you doing here, woman?
My name's Kate Walker. I'm a lawyer from New York. Excuse me, but I absolutely must speak to you, and your monks wouldn't let me in.
Miss Walker, your female presence in this dwelling of monastic retreat is unwelcome. It is very troubling. Please leave quickly.
I am afraid I
Please
can't do
forgive
that.
my slightly cavalier methods to get to see you, Father, but my cause is just, I assure you.
I have no need of assurance, my girl. Remember, you are here beneath the gaze of the Almighty.
I have a friend who is really sick. In the village, I was told that...
We must all brave the ordeals the Lord sends us, my child.
Well then, brave me.
My friend is named Hans Vorarlberg. He has devoted his life to making fantastic mechanical machines. His automatons soothed the harsh daily labor of the people of his day, and amused them, entertained them.
Why do you tell
He's
that?
a genius inventor, you know.
An
It's not
inventor,
relevant.
you say? The inspiration of such people is often cowed to humility before the marvels of God's own creation.
I have come to ask the assistance of the priest healer in the monastery. My friend is very unwell, and very old.
Sometimes a body weary of life refuses treatment. That is why we here tend to the soul. From what element is your friend suffering?
A high fever. It started with a kind of fit. He fell...
Sometimes we have to just accept the inevitable, my child, and resign ourselves to the call of time.
You don't understand. Maybe Hans is old and frail, but he has but one desire: to continue his journey.
We have to learn how to meet our fate, my child. This is God's will.
My friend needs treatment. You are the only one for miles around who can give him the care he needs.
I need a sign from the Almighty, or else I can do nothing for your friend. I am sorry, Miss Walker.
If he refuses to take Hans, doesn't mean that he stands on the way of the Almighty. Because he does not give it in the hands of Almighty, it is up to him. Yeah, okay, you can argue that if Almighty wants Hans to survive, then Hans will survive anyway, but if he wants Hans to die, Hans will die anyway.
I really need your help, Father. You're our only hope.
My girl, I attend only to extreme cases, grave illness and madness.
But this is an extreme case, Father.
There is a rule, Miss Walker. You must respect it. Bring me the imprint of your friend's suffering.
I know what you were telling me. I brought the shroud.
Show me, my child. Right. We will go search for your friend.
It's our man. He's got something.
Canton? I can barely hear you. What news have you got?
I talked to the hotel guys, Mr. Marson. She checked out of Arrowbad last week. Headed off with Hans Vorarlberg.
How is she?
Seems her health is fine, Mr. Marson, but,
What?
her behavior seems...
Don't beat about the bush, Canton, please.
Look, Mr. Marson, it's like this. I'm afraid that Miss Walker has been acting, how do you say, differently.
Why do you do it in the middle of the night? It's not like you have a well-lit road and everything and you carry the body around.
Did you sleep well, my child?
Yes, thank you. How is Hans?
Alas, you brought him to us so late, my child. I fear we cannot do much. We are going to concentrate on tending to his soul.
What? What did you say?
The man is worn and old. His final hour is upon him.
But that's impossible.
Your friend is dying. You must believe me, my child.
Please take care of Hans, Father, please.
Torment yourself no longer, my girl. I will tend to the poor soul.
That's not what Kate actually means.
Can I see him?
No, I do not advise it. Deranged minds are often too addled by evil, and you could become contaminated by its sly malevolence.
Look, contagion doesn't bother me. I've got to talk with him, you understand?
The rules, Miss Walker. Remember, The rules. No one talks to the sick.
I just can't abandon Hans like that. I must see him immediately. You hear?
Okay. So be it. Your friend is in the last chamber at the end of the corridor. I beseech thee, my girl, pay no heed to the imprecations of a sick, delirious, dying man. I will wait for you in the chapel when everything is over. For the formalities, you understand.
Formalities, my ass.
Cheese and dry bread. Yummy. Hans? Hans, can you hear me?
Kate, where are we?
Don't you worry. You're in very good hands.
I wouldn't necessarily say so.
We cannot carry on our journey in these conditions, Hans. You are ill. You have to be cared for.
I must go, Kate Walker.
I said I'd keep you company until we reach Syberia. I brought you here to be treated.
We don't have the time, Kate. We've got to go to Syberia, Kate Walker.
Calm down, Hans, please.
No.
Hans, we're at the monastery. Do you remember?
In Valadilen, it is 7:15 p.m. Father is always punctual. He never stays at home. He always goes to the factory. He locks himself in his office and...
No, Hans. Valadilen is where you were born. Here, we're in Romansburg. Valadilen is miles away. We're going to take care of you.
Alexei. Find Alexei Tukyanov.
Alexei Tukyanov?
Alexei. He has lived with the Youkols. He can cure me.
Oh, you little sneak.
Who is Alexei?
An old monk. A friend. He knows about Youkol medicine.
Why do you want me to find this monk, Alexei?
Alexei, he can treat me.
Hans, do try to be reasonable. Nobody here can treat you better than the old patriarch.
Alexei knows Youkol medicine. The old patriarch is an ass.
So you really think this monk can cure you?
Alexei can cure like the shaman. Shaman are the right doctors for me.
What's your knowledge? Well, but then again, what's my knowledge?
It seems you rate the Youkols for their medicine.
Youkol shaman medicine is very strong.
Hans, all that shaman malarkey is nonsense. You know that.
The Youkols know a lot of things, Kate Walker. A lot of things.
I'll be back soon.
Okay, Kate.
It's very convenient to tell that they know a lot of things when you never actually met them.
You like to eavesdrop.
Eavesdrop? No, I clean and clean, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
I've just spoken to Hans.
And what news do you bring, my sister?
He spoke to me of one of your brothers, named Alexei.
Ah, tempus edax rerum. Brother Alexei is not of this world, my sister.
So you don't know this Alexei, do you?
No. Omnis homo mendax.
Come on, you must know where Alexei is.
Mors ultima ratio.
What was that? Stained glass. Okay. Alexei was a man of God and my friend. He lived away from the monastery for many years among the strange Youkol people and their stories of the great mammoths of old that were divine to them. I am no wise monk, far from it, but I have prayed to God long enough to understand that He takes many different forms in the imagination of man. This might help you. The key is in the light of the mammoth's eye. What? These guys are not very talkative, are they? I don't know how to solve this puzzle right now, so we will leave it be. But that is a nice chamber, I must say.
It's kind of steep. But with the sled, I could slide down the slope. This casket gives me the creeps. Whiling away those celibate hours. What on earth is that?
It does, I think, say Alexei. But yeah, it's not very legible, is it? So, are we ready to continue pissing off the local monks? Because somehow you're supposed to realize that you need to mess up the murals.
Some kind of... This is...
Interesting that I cannot now mess up this one. Can I mess up both of them? No. Interesting. Very interesting. So, as you have seen on the mural, it gives us explanation how we should arrange the candles in the library. So now if we go here, and then we go down there, and if we now pick the stick, we should be able to do the following party trick. Should be able to light up this one. It's a very interesting arrangement, one that I just cannot grasp my mind around. How, like, what is the mechanism that ignites the candles? You do not see anything that creates sparks there. This mechanism is pretty smooth. You don't see any sparks flying around or anything. It doesn't seem to be electrical, so it's like honest to God candle and stuff. So it's interesting. And what's also interesting to think about is how this monastery is filled with all sorts of mechanical wonders. So you have a lift, right? Cool. Then, apart from lift, you have this candle arrangement, right? And when you arrange the candles correctly, this contraption opens up. Not quite. Nah, completely a miss. Oh. subreddit hidden rooms should be very happy about that. Alexei Tukyanov, Notes and Sketches from the Frozen North. April 15, 1947. I loaded my bags and provisions onto a sled pulled by several sturdy, healthy beasts and left the Romansburg monastery, heading northwards in search of the mysterious peoples inhabiting the vast desolate wastes of the Siberian tundra. My superiors had conferred on me the mission of evangeling those pagan tribes from their heathen shamanic beliefs. I traveled under an assumed identity, that of a lowly trapper. I had to be wary of the agents of the state and of the military for whom any religious activity is suspect. They, for their part, traveled the length and breadth of eastern Siberia, trying to convince the villagers of the debatable benefits of collectivism. It took me several weeks to accustom myself to the unfamiliar harness. I found no dogs in Romansburg and had to make do with Yukis purchased from a hunter. The Yuki is related to both seals and dogs. In the wild, the Yuki lives on river banks. It is an easy capture for the trapper as its gluttony is well documented. In winter, it gorges itself on orange salmon, a prey that it often has to share in the wild with the fierce Siberian bear, another creature very partial to the fish. Once tamed, the Yuki is an affectionate but whimsical animal. It resists all forms of disciplined training, and only if there are no dogs available is it used to pull sleds. Certain Arctic peoples, however, seem to have better mastered the secret of their domestication, and the Yuki is central to their daily activities. Of all the people who inhabit these god-forsaken regions, I find the Youkols the most fascinating. Perhaps that is why I headed for those regions where I was most likely to encounter them. Youkol religious mask representing the soul messenger who guides the dying to the other world. The Youkols are fearful of him. The journey was long and dangerous. It wasn't until October 27, 1947 that for the first time I made contact with the Youkols. I have spent long months living among them. I have come to know them and to understand them for who they are. I soon abandoned any notion of converting them. I applied myself instead to the study of their moves and customs. So little is known about the Youkols, less than is known of any inhabitant of the frozen north. Today they live far, far away at the farthermost tip of the Siberian tundra. Because of their remoteness and their inhospitable climate, the Youkols have remained small in number, overlooked by the scientific community and the Soviet governmental machine. The only documents available before my departure were several drawings, notes, and photographs taken 100 years ago by a Russian explorer, Marie Bodryanov. It is to her we owe what little is of the Youkol people and its culture. The Youkols hark back to the last ice age. Curiously, traces of their presence have been found in Western Europe, more precisely in the heart of the French Alps in the prehistoric caves of Valladolid. This suggests that over centuries they undertook a long migration towards the extreme north of the globe. How does this guy know about the Valladolid? The sacred Harfang. This bird is often inseparable from the Youkol shaman. It seems to be considered in turns as his friend, representative, and even as his incarnation. Lemmings congregate on the open plains of Siberia. They feed on grains and small fruit that they store in their holes to face the scarcity of the winter months ahead. Lemmings dig deep tunnels in the ice to escape their predators. The hunters they most fear are Harfangs, who seem to find lemmings something of a delicacy. On several occasions during my journey, I encountered traces of Youkol society far to the west of the areas we know today. Along forest trails I discovered small piles of carefully piled stones, altars on which Youkol hunters made ritual offerings to one of their pagan gods. We now know the reason for the Youkol's long migration. Their domestic economy was, it seems, directly linked to the mammoth. They used the mammoth for both transport and as beasts of burden for meat, skin, fat, and ivory. It is beyond doubt that we are dealing with a genuine case of symbiosis between man and animal. Mammoths were forced north by changing climatic conditions, and the Youkols followed. Some prehistoric cave drawings identified as being Youkol origin have led the scientific community to conjecture that at one time the Youkols realized the incredible achievement of domesticating mammoths. They are, to our knowledge, the only prehistoric people to have represented a man astride a mammoth. Youkol life was thus intimately linked to that of the pachyderms. Pachyderms? No idea. They used their hides for clothing and to build roofs, walls, and houses. They used their tusks to construct the frameworks of their dwelling and for weapons, tools, and jewelry. Curiously, the disappearance of the mammoth 12,000 years ago had no immediate impact on the Yukol's way of life. It seems that they were able to retain the strong link that tied them to mammoths throughout millennia. As incredible as it might seem, Yukols still feed on mammoth meat today and use mammoth hide for clothing and to roof their dwellings. The craftsmanship of mammoth ivory is altogether remarkable. It appears that the Yukols have managed to retain their ancestral habits by using over the years the many frozen mammoth bodies that are perfectly preserved in the frozen Siberian wastes. They are said to have lived off this enormous pantry for more than 30 centuries. To do this, they have hollowed out a vast network of caves in the frozen ground. According to the intrepid explorer Marie, Yukol civilization has now gone underground. Specialists in the paleontology department at St. Petersburg have never credited Yukol myths and legends. However, the legend of the Siberian ice arc is typical of such folklore. It has long been considered a fable told by a shaman in the evening to ward off the boredom of the long Siberian winter months. The legend tells that somewhere on a lost island to the north of the tundra there still exists live mammoths, relics of the long-gone ice age, a tiny population that has been preserved for more than 12 centuries under Youkol care. The island they inhabit is called Syberia. To my notes, I add the tale of this legend as it is related in Marie's memoirs. It agrees on all points with statements from Youkols I had the fortune to meet. Although the story constitutes no proof of the existence of the island of Siberia, it forms a tantalizing hypothesis. Give me a brief moment. And now I should be back here. So, there is some kind of a bramble. There is bluegrass. When fall arrives, the odor of its flowers is so strong that it is known to awaken hibernating yuki. Interesting. Scarlet bramble. Mixed with walrus, blubber, or tallow, this scarlet bramble is frequently used in Youkol medicine. The fumes released by burning it have considerable healing properties. The shamans recount that the plant only grows in the tomb of one whose soul is at peace, like Alexei. The legend of Syberia. At the end of the last ice age, there were huge climatic changes. Much of the land was flooded by water. This sudden environmental variation put the existence of a number of animal species in danger, including the mammoths that inhabited the lands of the Siberian north at that time. The Youkols, a particularly advanced people for their age, set about the construction of an enormous ark, like that of Noah, with the objective of preserving the mammoths, objects of religious devotion, from extinction. The enormous craft was entirely constructed of mammoth tusks and was loaded with a small herd of beasts and huge quantities of fur. The fate of the ship was entrusted to several particularly courageous members of the Youkol clan. Their mission was to lead the animals toward more welcoming climes. Once such vans were discovered, it was agreed that they would unload the animals and then come back to spread the tidings of their good fortune. It wasn't until 10 years later that the Ark returned to its starting place. The Youkols who had remained on the continent were surprised to find the ship empty, but for the perfectly preserved bodies of several mammoths in the ice that packed the bottom of the ship. They took this mysterious offering as a sign from the gods and ate the mammoths in a memorable feast. A week later, carried along by ocean currents, the Ark set sail again. Once more it returned 10 years later with more frozen mammoths on board. The phenomenon continued for millennia. Every 10 years the Ark would reappear, each time filled with immaculately preserved mammoths. The Youkols interpreted the phenomenon as an act of benevolence on the part of the souls of their congeners who had died during the Ark's first journey in some infernal maritime cataclysm. They made the religion of the Ark, with its own rites and customs, that was marked by the periodic appearance of the phantom ship and its precious cargo. For centuries, nothing seemed to affect the Ark's mysterious roundabout. One day, however, the Ark returned earlier than expected, and empty. This was 100 years ago. The poor Youkols fell into deep despair. Everything they had believed in and had been the foundation of their culture since the dawn of time lost meaning. The most valiant tried hard to maintain hope, especially because the Ark still continued its peregrinations into the unknown, borne away on the seasonal ocean tides. But one morning the Ark refused to set sail. Many Yukols then left their village forever, trailing their despair across the tundra. Sometimes they can be encountered in the smoke-filled drinking holes of the last outposts of civilization. These poor sodden souls drown their befuddled minds in alcohol, recounting their unlikely mammoth tales to fellow alcoholics. When the explorer arrived among the Yukols, she noted the presence of what was once a ship. Only the Yukols could perceive the mythical craft of their legend beneath the layers of ice that had accumulated over centuries. She put forward the hypothesis that the accumulated ice had eventually doubled the volume of the Ark and rendered it incapable of negotiating the dangers posed by floating ice in the Arctic floe. I, Alexei Tukyanov, can confirm that the observations of these audacious adventures are true. The arc that leads to the Isle of Syberia is indeed real, and even if I have not found the formal proof, I am convinced of the isle's existence and that remnants of a mammoth population may still live there today. So, that was quite a read. We do know now a little bit more about precious Youkol medicine, right? We know where to find Bramble. However, in order to find Bramble, we need to collect the Bramble first, which we should be able to do right over here. So, talking about backtracking, right? We went for the scissors. Okay, then we go back to the cemetery, to the grave of to the Alexei's grave. We use, it's not scissors, it's shears. To collect the Bramble. How long did you live? 101. Holy smokes, man. And now we need to go all the way back to the elevator, so past the place where we took the shears, because the machine to make the Bramble, not the Bramble, the candle, is right over here.
I need something.
Huh? What else? Ships. I don't remember what else do we need. It's a little bit unfortunate. Okay, we don't need anything particularly special. Yeah, I just forgot that how we put the thing inside. What on earth makes this thing to rotate? And just like that, the guy's healed. I have a reflex to watch, to glance at my recording so I don't look at you. Sorry if like that brings any inconvenience. Like I prefer to see my face and it's over to the side than to glare at the lens.
How's it going?
Kate, okay, yes. What am I doing here?
It's a long story.
Are we going yet?
Can you walk?
I'd like to, but...
Don't move, Hans. I'm going to find a way to get us out of here.
You should have made more candles, by the way. I don't remember in the slightest how we find the way out actually. I remember some bits and pieces, but it's just that, bits and pieces. Okay, we keep stealing. Certainly this does not raise any alarm whatsoever among the monastery. And certainly the casket is a sturdy enough thing to go down the slope.
It's kind of...
Are you ready to escape?
Gatewalker.
Let's go.
Yes, Gatewalker. We must be quick.
But you should have made more candles. Yeah, you have no chance. The guy will be faster than you.
No! Do not go! No! You must stay! Stop them!
And you're dead. Oh, you can't see crap because of me. Sorry.
That was some ride, huh, Hans?
Yes, it was real fun, Gatewalker. Really.
Hans?
Hmm?
Hans, do you think we can carry on with our journey?
There's just a spot of work I haven't finished. You'll have to help me, Kate.
Of course. What can I do for you? Tell me.
I have repaired the clockwork heart for the horses, but I'm too tired, too weak. Can you go to the cabaret and fit it instead of me, Kate?
It's all right. I'll go. Don't worry. Get some rest.
I mean, sure, we can finish a little bit of work, right? They certainly will not bite me in the ass. How could it? Much less calls from the relatives or anyone else in this entry. And that does not seem entirely right, because I would have expected them to be more concerned about Kate here, like in this game, than in the previous one.
Right! Now jump! Jump! Right! Now jump! Jump! Right! Now jump! Jump! Dang! Get out of my sight before I stuff you in the oven, you dumb goop!
Now, let's deal with the horses. So we noticed the movement of horses 2 and 3, but movement not all the way, right? Okay, now we saw no movement at all. Again, no movement at all. So maybe these two were correct, but these two were not. 1, 2, 3, but not 4. Okay. Okay. Run. And with that monstrous cliffhanger, I would like to wrap it up for today. I think it was a beautiful episode. Again, sorry for the choppy cinematics. It is what it is for some reason on the recording. I can't find any information on why can that happen. I tried a lot of Proton versions. It just does not fix it. Capturing the particular application window also, well, that's just unstable. I tried different codecs, I tried different frames per second, frames per second counts. Nothing seems to be helping here. I have exhausted the easy options and I'm a little bit reserved into trying something more severe. So, yeah. But I digress. Again, I still hope that you enjoyed the gameplay, that you enjoyed my company, and if that is the case, then please leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, or otherwise let me know down in the comments what I can improve for you. I hope to see you next time. Have a nice day out there, and bye.